Welcome students. Today we will see the infrared communication. So as I told, when wireless it comes, by infrared communication comes under wireless communication. So infrared waves with frequency from 300 gigahertz to 400 terahertz. When we convert it into wavelength, it will be from 1 millimeter to 17 nanometer. Can be used for short range communication. Infrared waves having high frequencies cannot penetrate walls. So the infrared, they cannot penetrate the walls. When we use our infrared remote control, we do not interfere with the use of remote by our neighbors. So when we are using the remote in our homes, we will not interfere with the remotes of other people. Application. The infrared data communication Data Association, an association for sponsoring the use of infrared waves, has established standard for using these signals for communication between devices such as keyboard, PCs, and printers. So this infrared communication is used in keyboard, personal computers, and printers. So these are the applications of infrared. Switching network. Now coming to the switching network. A switch network consists of a series of interlinked nodes called switches. So switches are nothing but interlinked nodes. There will be a series of interlinked nodes. Switches are devices capable of creating temporary connection between two or more devices linked to the switch. So these switches are capable of creating temporary connection. They create temporary connection between two or more devices linked to the switch. In a switch network, some of these nodes are connected to the end system, computer or telephone for example. Other are used only for routing. So some of these nodes are connected to the end system such as computers and telephones. And some are used only for routing purpose, only for transmitting the data purpose, routing. So this is a switch network. As you can see, there are different end users such as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. These are all connected through switches. Switches are 1, 2, 3, Roman letter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the switches through which these end devices are connected. Switching. Traditionally, three methods of switching have been important. There are three methods of switching are proposed: circuit switching, packet switching, and message switching. Now, out of these two, the first two are commonly used today. The third has been phased out in general communication, but still has networking application. The third one, which is nothing but the message switching, is phased out, but still it has some networking application. Packet switch networks can further be divided into two subcategories: virtual circuit networks and datagram networks. So the packet switch network, they are again divided into two types: virtual circuit networks and datagram networks. So this is the taxonomy of the switch network. So we have switch network. In this, it is divided into three categories: circuit switch networks, packet switch networks, message switch networks. Again, the packet switch network is divided into datagram networks and virtual circuit network. Datagram network and virtual circuit network. Now coming to circuit switch network. A circuit switch network consists of a set of switches connected by physical links. So it consists of set of switches which are connected by the physical link. A connection between two stations is a dedicated path made of one or more links. There will be one or more links and there will be a dedicated path between the two stations. However, each connection uses only one dedicated channel on each link. Each link is normally divided into n channels by using FDM or PDM. So it is divided into n channels. Each link is divided into n channels by using FDM or TDM. So this is a trivial circuit switch network. In this, we have sender A and receiver M, and we have 4 switches here and one link. One link has n channels. Here the n is 3. Here n is 3. Means number of channels here is 3. And there are 4 switch circuits. So figure shows a trivial circuit switch network with 4 switches and 4 links. Each link is divided into n. N is 3 in the figure channel by using FDM or TDM. So there will be 3 channels in each link. The end system must, such as computer or telephone, are directly connected to a switch. So the end systems such as computers or telephones are directly connected to the switch. Circuit switching takes place at the physical layer. So the switching takes place at the physical layer. Before starting communication, the station must make a reservation for the resources to be used during the communication. So resources must be made before communication starts between the 2 stations. So data transfer between the 2 stations are not packetized. They are not packets. Data communication is not in packets. Data are a continuous flow sent by the source station and received by the destination, although there may be periods of silence. So there is a continuous flow of data sent by the source station to the destination station. There may be periods of silence, means there may be no data sent during the transmission. There may be periods of silence. There is no addressing involved during data transfer. So there will not be any addressing involved during the data transfer. Once the resources are allocated, there will be no addressing involved. The switches route the data based on the occupied band, FDM or TDM. Of course, there is end-to-end addressing used during the setup phase. So there will be 3 phases. One of the phases is setup phase. So during the setup phase, end-to-end communication or addressing will take place. So as I told you, there are 3 phases. The actual communication in a circuit switch network requires 3 phases: connection setup, data transfer, and connection teardown. So there are 3 phases are there. Connection setup, this is first one. Data transfer, second one, and connection teardown is third one. So setup phase. Before the 2 parties or multiple parties in conference call can communicate, a dedicated switch need to be established. A dedicated switch, this is a combination of channels and links, need to be established before the 2 parties can communicate. This is the setup phase. The end systems are normally connected through dedicated lines to the switches. So connection setup means creating dedicated channel between the switches. So what is this? Setup phase? Setup phase is nothing but creating dedicated channels between the switches. Note that end-to-end addressing is required for creating a connection between the 2 end systems. So end-to-end addressing, source to destination addressing is required for connecting between the 2 end systems. Now coming to the data transfer phase, after the establishment of the dedicated circuit channel, the 2 parties can transfer data. So once the dedicated circuit is established, the 2 systems can communicate data using data. Teardown phase, when one of the parties need to disconnect a signal is sent to each switch to release the resources. Means once the parties have communicated the data, they have transferred the data, they send a signal to release the resources. So this is nothing but teardown phase. Now coming to efficiency of the circuit switch network, it can be argued that circuit switch networks are not as efficient as the other 2 types of networking because resources are allocated during the entire duration of the connection. So the circuit switch networks are not as efficient as the other 2 switching types. What are the other 2 switching types? We have, as I told you earlier, Other two are packet switching networks and message switching networks. These are the other two. So the circuit switch network is not as efficient as packet switch network and message switch network. And these resources are unavailable to other connections. Means once the connection is established in the circuit switch network, these resources will not be available to other connections. Because of this, efficiency will decrease. Delay. Although a circuit switch network normally has low efficiency, the delay in this type of network is minimal. So the delay will be minimum in the circuit switch network. The total delay is due to the time needed to create the connection, transfer data and disconnect the circuits. So the delay is due to connection, transfer data and disconnection of the circuit. Because of these three factors, the delay will be there. So as I told you, the delay will be due to connection, data transfer and disconnection of the switch. Because of this, there will be a total delay. Datagram network. If the message is going to pass through a packet switch network, it need to be divided into packets of fixed or variable size. The size of the packet is determined by the network and the governing protocols. So the size of the packet is determined by the network and the governing protocol, and the data is divided into packets of fixed or variable length for sending in datagram networks. In packet switching, there is no allocation for a packet. There is no allocation for a packet. There is no allocation for the resources during the packet switching. Resources are allocated on demand. So in packet switching, in datagram networks, resources are allocated on demand. The allocation is done on a first come first served basis. The allocation is done on a first come first served basis. In a datagram network, each packet is treated independently of all other. So in datagram network, each packet is treated independently of all other packets. Even if a packet is part of a multi-packet transmission, the network treats it as though it exists alone. So even if it is a part of a multi-packet transmission, the network treats it as though it existed alone. Packet in this approach are referred to as datagram. So packets are referred here as datagram. Datagram switching is normally done at the network layer. So the datagram switching is normally done at the network layer. The switches in a datagram network are traditionally referred to as routers. So the switches in a datagram network are traditionally referred to as routers. So this is a datagram network. We are sending 4 packets, 1, 2, 3, 4, from source A, from a source computer A to a destination computer X. So they travel different routes. So there will not be any fixed circuit. There will be different routes available for transmission of the packets. So the packets will arrive at the destination computer X in different orders. Datagram networks are sometimes referred to as connectionless networks. So these datagram networks are connectionless networks. The term connectionless here means that the switch does not keep information about the connection state. The switch does not keep information about the connection state here. There are no setup or tear down phases. As I told you, there are 3 phases: setup, data transfer and tear down. So here in datagram networks, there are no setup or tear down phases. The internet has chosen the datagram approach to switching at the network layer. So the internet has chosen the datagram approach to switching at the network layer. It uses the universal address defined in the network layer to route packets from source to the destination. So it basically uses the universal address defined in the network layer to route packets from source to destination. Routing table. In this type of network, each switching or packet switch has a routing table which is based on the destination address. The routing tables are dynamic and are updated periodically. The destination address and the corresponding forwarding output ports are recorded in the table. So the routing table has the addresses and the corresponding forwarding output ports recorded in the tables. Routing table. This is a routing table. It has destination address and the output port. So the destination address are 1232 and the output port is 1. So as the figure shows, there are 4 different port numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So in one of these ports, the data will be transferred. The data will be received or data will be transferred. So this is a routing table in a datagram network. Destination address. Every packet in a datagram network carries a header that contains, among other information, the destination address of the packet. When the switch receives the packet, this destination address is examined. The routing table is consulted to find the corresponding port through which the packet should be forwarded. So, based on the destination address, the routing table will consult the corresponding port through which the packet should be forwarded. This address, unlike the address in a virtual circuit switch network, remains the same during the entire journey of the packet. Efficiency. The efficiency of a datagram network is better than that of a virtual switch network. Resources are allocated only when there are packets to be transferred. Since the resources are allocated only when the packets need to be transferred, the efficiency of datagram network is better than that of a circuit switch network. Delay. There may be greater delay in datagram network than in virtual circuit networks. When we compare to virtual circuit network, the delay is greater in datagram network. Each packet may experience a wait at a switch before it is forwarded. So this is the delay in a datagram network. We have transmission time. We have 3 transmission times and 2 waiting times here for the packets at the routers. Because of this, there will be a greater delay in datagram packets.